Good evening. We're a few minutes late. We're late due to our setup was a little fucked up because the stereo mix and shit. So we had to adjust it back. So we're still getting used to it. We'll be on point as of next week when we join Strip Club Choppers Radio. We will be on point. We will be on at exactly 11 o'clock. And look for Two Local Experience, a part of Strip Club Choppers Radio, not Two Local Radio through Spreaker. So anyway, this is Ray Ray.
And Chrissy D.
And if you've seen the title tonight, it's just a little comedy in an otherwise just tired atmosphere. I lately just feel drained. I feel like it's not like when you're sick. It's more of when you just over-exhort yourself and you just want to do more and more and more. It's like a fucking drug. It's like, I mean, I guess, talking on the radio and, trying to reach people is not a bad thing. But at the same time, it's like you just want to do more, and when you can't do more, you get really fucking pissed off. You get mad because, it's like, okay, you want an empire. Not in the sense of, ruling over everybody, but more in the sense of a togetherness, a unity, a bond where people are, want to go out and help you out and want to do things without, having to pay them $1 million to do it. But in this day and age, you're just not going to find it. And if you do, it's based on friends, that you have. But my friends are busy for the most part, which there's nothing wrong with that. They got their own lives. They got to do their own jobs, and, that's fine. But on the other hand, I sometimes feel that I wish I could clone myself so I'd have enough time to do everything that I needed to do, in a day. It's nothing against Chrissy D over here. She does a fantastic job with what she knows, but I can't teach her everything because I've got to work another job as well. And it's fucking very, very difficult to do that. But I'm not going to complain about it because I'm grateful to have a job. There's so many out there today that don't have a job or, stuck working, jobs they absolutely hate and they can't stand. I'd rather, do this full time, but right now I'm not able to do that. The money's not there for me to, through sponsorship and advertising. So if you have a business, you're looking to advertise, on the web or whatever, and you need some, cheap advertising, well, then get a hold of us. So before I get into my next topic, I'm going to throw the mic over to Chrissy D and see if she has anything she wants to talk about tonight.
No, actually, I don't right this second. I haven't really been on the Facebook or any of that, and haven't really had time to really watch TV yesterday. We just, got up early, worked real hard, and by the time I got home, I was just so drained and so tired. I'm still tired today from yesterday. That's how, hard I busted my butt, so.
Yeah, she was at the flea market yesterday helping my buddy do what he does as far as, selling merchandise, household products, down at the flea market, which ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
But the thing is, what I really want to talk about is we're doing phenomenally well for the short time that we've been, on this platform. To have, 4,400 plays and 1,500 downloads in a little over a month, and one of them weeks you basically took off is phenomenal. However, it's not enough. Not to me, because I was brought up in a family where you just what you did yesterday does not matter. It's all about what you do today. It's all about what you get done now. And though we are proud of what we have, we want to expand. I personally want to expand. I want to, reach out to 16 million bazillion people because that's just the way person I am. I'm just never satisfied, never, happy in the sense of content. I don't think I'm ever going to be content. I think those that really love their job and do the best that they can will never be content. They will always find ways to make things more exciting and make things more interesting and just try different things out. And I think that's what makes us great as people. I think if everybody did the exact same thing, you'd have a bunch of fucking robots, and that's not going to help anybody. I mean, who are you going to laugh at? I mean, who you going to, who's going to entertain yourself if everybody, it's like everybody, go out and, kill themselves. And I'm not saying for anybody to do that. I'm just saying if everybody's...
working. In other words, when he says everybody go out there and kill themselves, he doesn't mean literally. He means that figuratively speaking with working-wise. They go out there, they get these jobs, and they work all these crazy hours, and they keep working and working and working, and they never have any time to relax, no downtime. And, eventually it does get to you, and that's what he means by kill yourself, obviously.
Well, I was speaking metaphorically speaking, and that's in one sense of a term. Another is that, the whole thing is that, if everybody were the same, they'd have a bunch of robots. Everybody would do the exact same thing, go to the exact same places, meet the exact same people. Wouldn't that be fucking boring?
I'd be bored. I wouldn't want that.
I'd be bored to tears if I didn't have my buddies out there, when we're out drinking, doing stupid shit and talking crazy things.
You got to have your friends that are basically your friends that are, straight-laced and, do the right, always do the right thing or whatever it is. And then you got to have your crazy friends to keep you entertained and to, kind of help you relax after a crazy week. Am I right, hon?
Saturday, it was either Friday. It was Saturday right after the interview. We went out. I seen some of my old friends, and I had a ball. Some of them had to leave early, but hey, it is what it is, and, if you ain't feeling well, you ain't feeling well. That's no disrespect to anyone.
I agree because, I just had a good time just being out with them, just getting to meet them, people I didn't know, so it was kind of cool for me,
And it really just brought back, a great moment. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. They had a kick-ass band. Hopefully we'll get to interview them sometime. I gave them that ghetto version of a card. I did not have a business card handy, so I took the back of a bank card and put the web address and, told them what we're about, short-wise. Can't say much on a fucking card. And, if they get back, they get back. If they don't, they don't. And that's their loss.
Exactly. And the people we hung out with, like I said, were a cool bunch. And, I look forward to hanging out with them again, hopefully soon. We have, some great new... I have some great new friends because I hadn't met them before. So it's nice to go out and have fun with your friends and, have a few drinks and just sit and shoot the BS and, talk about old times and, stuff like that because that's what they were basically doing. And it was cool.
Who are you kidding? I couldn't even find you half the night. You were doing whatever you were doing.
No, I wasn't. I was outside for maybe 5-10 minutes talking to my sister.
5-10 minutes when you're drunk is a lot longer than 5-10 minutes.
True. Very true. True. To you it seemed longer, but yeah, that's about all. I was gone.
And then, to top it off, we're leaving there. Actually, no, we left there. We gave my buddy a ride home. We come back, and I guess I was speeding a little or something.
Yeah.
And They're doing a routine sobriety test on the corner, like 3 cops.
Yeah, and this doofus
You know, I went
blows past the 3 cops.
I wasn't trying to blow past them. What I was frankly trying to do was get out of the way.
Oh, I know, babe. I know.
You know, I was just trying to get out of the way. I maneuvered away from them. I might have been going a little fast. But I didn't know because I didn't see the damn speed limit sign. That's still no excuse, but nonetheless.
Yeah. But, you know, we got lucky. The officer was a very nice guy, so, you know, we were lucky there.
But without giving a whole thing away, because some things you're just left unsaid.
You mean better left unsaid?
Yeah, whatever. You know, he asked me why I was stopped. And my dumb ass says, well, yeah, I see what you're seeing. And my ID matches that.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad he didn't take it. I was being a smartass. And then he had me do the 4-finger sobriety. I've never even heard of it. I got to touch all my fingers and then touch them back. And I'm like, okay, I'm not stupid. I'm just a little buzzed. You know? But, yeah, I had a ball. I had a ball because I got to meet, you know, my old friends and hang out, and I hope to have them on the show sometime. They are hilarious.
Oh, they're a great bunch.
And
you guys would laugh.
When I tell you hilarious, I mean you would be laughing for 20 minutes straight hilarious. That's how funny they are.
Oh, yeah. They're a great group of people, and, yeah, you guys would definitely be cracking up if they came on, when they come on the show, I should say. Because I really hope to have them on, you know?
Well, I mean, there's no hope about it. They will at some point.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying, I know they have busy lives because, you know, they got to work their jobs and take care of their families and do what they got to do, you know?
Just like now that, you know, the sound setup, I'm sure we can get Brian to come back. I'm sure the cable guy would like to come over. I mean, I'm sure we'll have a list of people that will come over and special guests from time to time. I mean, hell, we got a band all the way, you know, from over 3-4 hours away saying when they're coming local out here, they're going to, you know, do a little thing in the studio, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
You know, plus the fact that we have every guest that we've had on has not said anything wrong about us or badmouthed us in any way. And I know that that's normal, you know, coach speech or whatever. But you can tell that they actually love, you know, being on the show rather than they're just like, okay, yeah, this is just a opportunity for me to reach a couple more people.
Exactly. I mean, we had Kay Kahuba on the other night, and he called me his homegirl, and I thought that was really cool. To me, that felt good when he said that because that's a really cool guy. That's somebody, you really got to buy his music. He's got some great songs.
And I wish
they all do.
I wish I was as popular as you are because here you are holding the fucking mic. There's a stand for a reason, you know.
Oh, I know. But sometimes I like to just hold my mic.
Well, you better hold it close, otherwise the freaking sound's going to fade in and out.
I ain't going to fade in and out.
See, I'm going to do it too.
I'll just smack him with
I'm going to do it too, and I'm going to act like I'm cool. See, I'm going to be cool like you.
That's right. You wish you were cool like me. See?
All right, no, for real, though. You know, I was in a shitty mood, and I was going to talk about all these about being tired and shit, and just, like, I had, like, this whole fucking speech plan, and now I'm like, whoa, I'm starting to wake up. What the fuck? Smell the coffee.
Yeah, he's starting to feel better, you know? I think this is what he needed. This is his, I don't know, stress release, whatever you want to call it. Because this is something we love to do. So this is our stress release, basically. You know, hun? I mean...
All right. Now I'm going to get serious. What I wanted to talk about...
Oh, boy.
...is, you know, don't you feel sometimes, you know, that you just want to moon people? I'm not saying you want to go out and, you know, rub your ass on people and give them the moon. What I am saying, though, is metaphorically speaking, you sometimes feel like people can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Because what I'm doing is, what makes me happy and what makes me feel right. And if you don't like it, well, that's tough titties.
Yeah.
But, what bothers me is the fact that we're not reaching as many people as I want to.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know, I want the whole world to know who the fuck we are. I think we're as good as a lot of people out there. I think sometimes we do ramble on. I think there's a lot of things we have to work for. But, as rookies, like in the NFL, you have to train. You have to look at different things and adjust and get to the game plan. And by year 2, you're better than year 1.
Of course. I mean, that's how it always is.
I could say if you listen to our shows on the beginning platform we were on, we're doing a hell of a lot better than what we originally did.
Yes, we are. I mean, we've come a long way, I think, from that time. We've come a long way.
But what I like about our show is we're planning many different things. We don't want just advertising like most people.
Right.
We want the open door policy. Hey, these advertisers could come in anytime, or members of them could come on anytime and say what they want, and let us know what's going on.
Exactly.
That's why we prefer like mature content. People that have personalities and people that actually want to reach out and touch people and, let them know who the fuck they are rather than just, okay, hi, I work here. My name's Joe Smith.
Exactly. I mean, you got to have a little more oomph to it if you want to get people to listen, If you don't have that oomph, they're going to look at you like, yeah, whatever, and they're going to tune it out.
But isn't business basically just like a deck of cards? Because you never know where it's going to go. You have an idea of what could happen. You have an idea of the direction it could go. But when things don't pan the way that you want them to, and things, take a turn, backwards, you have to play the right cards to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Because if you don't play the right cards, then you're just going to set yourself back.
Well, it's a lot of planning, too. When you run a business, you have to plan everything, how you want to do things, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. All that's all planned out,
Exactly. And especially when you have a business which you make your own hours or you create when you can go on based on what you have to be able to generate that market. So, people will actually, listen, and you've got a following, and people will actually know what you're going. It's just like these bands out here. We were watching this Full Throttle one day.
Yeah.
And we had this country band. Really, I apologize. They had this country band. And they were really good country band.
Yeah.
But you don't bring a country band into a bunch of bikers.
No, I didn't understand that. How do you put country music in a biker bar? Because I'm like, those are all bikers, and all them bikers are into rock and roll. No offense. What I'm saying is, most of the bikers I've ever met were mostly into like rock and roll and stuff, and so we're obviously these guys on Full Throttle because every time I watch Full Throttle, that's what they're playing. They're playing rock and roll, heavy metal.
And there's nothing wrong with rock and roll, and there's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Oh, no.
But what I'm saying is sometimes you have to realize who your audience is and who your market is.
Exactly. Yeah, they were supposed to sell so many tickets to this country band that was playing there, and they couldn't because that just wasn't where their audience was at.
I think it's more than that. I think it was just...
the weather was crummy, too. I mean, a lot of stuff was happening. Those poor guys. I felt so bad for those guys on Full Throttle.
Will you let me speak?
Every time you turn around, it was raining.
I guess she's not going to let me speak.
Hey, you wouldn't let me speak before.
See, as I'm still holding the mic, as you put down the mic... Oh, now she's going to pretend she's sleeping. But the point I'm trying to make is you got to know your market, you got to know your crowd, and you've got to be able to get there and get their attention, because if you don't, you're not going to increase your revenue. You're not going to increase your foundation. And, it just will not work.
No, because you have to know how to read your crowd. You have to know what they want, what they like and what they don't like, and kind of weed out the stuff that your audience doesn't listen to or they don't like,
Or it may have been they've already heard the band before, and it's nothing to do with the music. It's just because they've heard the band recently, and they're like, okay, we want something fresh and new.
I don't know, maybe, but it didn't seem like it was their kind of music. I mean, it just didn't seem like it. But I felt really bad, like I said, for the guys because, they lost a lot of money that day, and I really felt bad for them. Because I know what it is to run a business and how hard it is. So, it kind of sucked for them that they lost that money.
Which, don't get me wrong, with us hitting this new foundation and everything and given this chance by the Thunder Walrus, I hope I did it. I hope I do him proud when he listens to that.
I hope so.
But, I'm not going to say that, that, type of audience or whatnot will not like some of the, rap we do or other music. But I'm going to bring in, for interviews, rock bands and, metal bands and whatnot, because one, it sparks interest, and two, that's just like my main forte of music anyway. So.
Exactly. Well, not only that, but you want to get different crowds of people, You want to get not just the country band people that listen to country music, or not just the rock band people, or not just the heavy metal band. You want to get a little bit of each so it keeps a variety.
Yeah, and exactly.
It keeps it exciting for everybody.
You can't have a tagline that says, we matter because you matter, and then ignore that part of people out there that listen to that certain type of music.
Exactly.
We are going to bring in all kinds of bands from all different, genres.
Yep.
And we're working on doing a lot of great things. It's a bitch trying to do a lot of things myself, though. I have to admit that. There's some things that you just can't do. I mean, there's some things that are just technical, and it takes a certain type of person to do.
Exactly. That's very true, honey. It's very true. But, it's like if let's say we got an email from, let's say, somebody who listens to our show and says, hey, I see you have only country bands on, or you only have rock bands on. Well, yeah, okay, that's fine and dandy you have rock band on, but I'm a country fan, or I'm a heavy metal band, and we just ignore them. And that person's going to be like, well, I don't want to listen to them, because they don't care, obviously, what I think. So, by doing this, we're kind of, showing everybody we do care. So we have a little bit of taste for everybody,
And don't be surprised when you see, our own, flavor of people handing out things or, talking about our show that we bring on and we're paying and whatnot if they happen to, entice the eye. Because part of the thing in nowadays generation, especially with the youth, the young kids, is they want eye candy. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
They don't want somebody 4'9" and 500 pounds.
Right. They want this pretty little petite blonde with the big boobs and the nice body. I mean, that's what they want. Let's face it.
Or the ladies want a stud.
Yep. Or they want the dark-haired woman, or the redheaded or whatever. But she has to have a nice body. That's what young guys like.
Or they want somebody crazy like the Thunder Walrus. Mm-hmm. I just like to say that like that.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a real nice guy.
Exactly. He is a blast to talk with and everything. And we're very, very excited.
And very grateful that he's given us the chance, because he seems like a really great guy. And I'm looking forward so much to working for him.
But, I mean, we're at a point, even though in 4 days we go on a new outlet, even though on the new outlet we are if you combine what we have with what is there, we're doing phenomenal.
Yes, we are.
But it's not enough.
Right.
It's not enough because I want
more.
to reach all the little people.
Yep.
I'm greedy like that. You can call me a greedy motherfucker. I want to reach them all. The reason I want to reach them all is because in my eyes, there may be people that out there that don't know who the fuck we are. Imagine that.
Wow, somebody not know who we are?
I want somebody who does not go on the internet at all to go out and buy a computer just to listen to our show and just the shows on Strip Club Choppers Radio. That is the goal. The goal is people that normally would not listen to, talk radio or, a talk show.
Exactly.
To be, in tune.
Well, exactly. Like, for instance, your friends who, they work a lot and they have their own lives. But it would be cool for someone like them who don't normally listen to, like, our type of shows or whatever, and for them to listen to it would be cool too.
Well, it's like it's like my buddies who we hung out with this weekend.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right? They don't even like Facebook.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it would be good for someone like them, just for an example.
Okay, but they don't even like Facebook. They're not into the social media. They could really give it a rat's ass. They'd rather go out and do outdoor shit or raise their families.
Yeah, or meet up with friends and hang out with friends for a while or whatever the case might be.
So, to reach them and, let them know, that we're around and, it's not just, it's just people in general. People are getting tired and sick of the same fucking boring fucking shit over and over. Has anybody noticed other than me that the normal radio on the cars just started to suck?
Yeah, I mean, there's hardly ever any music on anymore. It's mostly blah, 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 blah.
But, I mean, it's even the people that are doing the talk radio, they're just... It doesn't feel like they've got excitement. It feels like, it's a bunch of cue cards they're reading off their hands. Okay, in today's news, we're talking about fish that are underwater. And these fish that are underwater, they weigh 700 pounds. And these 700-pound fish, they go underwater a lot. And when they're not underwater, they're going to feed something.
And this is what they eat and blah, 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 blah.
I mean, even when they're making a joke, they're trying to make a national joke that they have no business making anyway. And that's no disrespect to anybody on the radio, on like, FM or AM radio.
Yep.
I mean, I know you're doing your thing, and that's fine. But with us not on that route and, have to work 100 times harder because we don't have the audience you have.
Right.
We're going to present shows that are 100 times better.
Exactly.
Or if we don't and we suck like tonight, well, it's because I'm overtired, but I'm not going to say, cancel the show because it must go on.
That's
I could have 102-degree fever, and she knows me better than anybody. I'm still rocking.
Let me tell you, this boy's had 102 temperature. Throwing up doesn't matter. Could be dizzy, could be whatever. He will still go to work and still work his ass off.
Because that's the family I was raised in. I was raised in you don't get shit for free, and you have to work hard to get everything that you want.
It's not handed to you on a silver platter.
Nobody's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. I lived on the streets. I know that. I slept in a fucking dirt pile. I am proud to say that at one point in my life, I slept in a fucking dirt pile. You wonder why? I'll tell you why. Because the local shelter said even though that they had plenty of even though they had plenty of floor space, they had no bed available for me.
Yeah. Well, it's something against I'm sure some kind of law or something to let you even sleep on the floor. They only got so many beds and only allowed to fill those so many beds.
At that time, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I know.
I'm like, I've got money. I'll pay your ass. I'm like, I work 2 fucking full-time jobs. I'm just not going to spend the money at a fucking hotel unless I really have to.
Exactly.
You know, but I did sleep in a dirt pile.
I believe it.
I mean, it was, not an actual dirt pile. I mean, it was full of dirt.
Yeah.
It was my buddy's, front porch. But it was not finished. So it was a dirt pile. And when the cars did go by, they did laugh at me. But it is what it is. I've also, slept on park benches. I know what it's like to get some sleep on a train.
Just to get some sleep.
I know what it's like to live with very hard to deal with people and to lose your electricity in Connecticut in minus 30-degree weather and to have 7 blankets on and fucking still be freezing and then go work for a car wash nonetheless.
Oh, my God.
And still, make it to survive the next day. Because you have to do what you have to do in order to survive.
Exactly. I mean, my stepfather, my biological father owns his own Dairy Queen, but my stepfather was a lawyer, but he didn't hand us stuff just to hand it to us for nothing. If we wanted something, we had to work for it. We had to get the grades for it, or we had to have jobs to buy what we wanted. I always, from the time I was old enough to work, I always worked. And I always made my own money somehow, whether it's babysitting for people's kids or whatever. But I always made my own money. I never asked my mother for anything growing up. I just wasn't brought up that way, and I know neither were you.
I never had the luxury. I mean, I'm understanding what you're saying, but I've never had the luxury of having somebody, with the exception of like friends or family members every once in a blue, and I mean every once in a blue, to go places.
Yeah, that I was lucky about. I had good friends. I had a wonderful stepfather who loved me very much. I have a wonderful father who loves me very much, and a wonderful stepmother. I love them both, and I love my little brother Eric. I'm proud of him.
But what I'm trying to say is I'm not talking about family outings. Of course, I went to many family outings.
I'm talking about just how lucky I am to have them. In my family, the fact that they did love me and care about me.
But my family outings were different. My family just did not fucking get along. Everybody at some point were fighting. Every holiday was a fucking fight. Somebody was fighting or somebody was hitting each other or, whatever the case may be. That was just how my family was. And when it came to going to friends' houses, I had to find my own fucking way. And before I had a car, I had to ride a bike. I must have done more bike riding in 2 years than most people do their entire fucking life.
I believe it. I mean, that's one thing I never had to worry about. But mostly all my friends lived within the area of where I lived. So I basically either walked or biked or whatever to get to their house.
Well, I did too. I went down to a friend's house when there was no bus available on like a Sunday. Because for some reason on a Sunday they had like 4 fucking buses. The buses were spread out to like fucking, they come an hour or 2 hours or every 3 hours, some freaking crazy amount. Or they only run to 5 o'clock. And that's not like nowadays. Like now you see they run to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But when I was a kid, they did not.
No, they didn't.
They didn't run like that. They only ran half the time. And you had no fucking choice. You're like, okay, you can't afford to fucking take a cab. You got to walk.
Yep.
When I was working for Park City Valves and Fittings, I would take a bus, literally take 2 buses. Then I would jump on a train and then walk a mile and a half to get to work.
Wow.
Every fucking day. Why did I do it? Because I needed the money because, it was better money than fucking working fast food at the time.
Right. Oh, I don't blame you.
And, I was a troubled kid. At that point, I still didn't have my fucking, high school diploma. I got my high school diploma through a correspondence school.
That's good. I'm proud of you for that.
a lot of people get it through, normal high, and I commend all you. But when you're always picked on and you're always dealing with fucking shit, and you're always getting into fights, shit don't always work that way.
Exactly. Well, tonight I was watching that 16 and Pregnant, but it was the first one. They were showing like clips of just Amber, and they were breaking them up. And, I think Amber was the one. She was the one who went to jail. And I really, really felt bad for her because it seemed like, she just couldn't get a break. And I really felt bad for her. And I was really proud of her. She got her GED in jail. She cleaned up her act. And she's actually doing well for herself. And I'm proud of her. And same with Macy and all the rest of those girls, One of them actually lives out here in Tennessee. And I believe she works for a radio station out here. And, I had to just give her respect, I have a lot of respect for those girls. They came a long way, all of them.
And while I understand what you're saying, while I do respect all them, in real life, the TV shows, even when they try to reenact what's really happening,
yeah,
is not even close.
I know, but still, it's still nice to, these girls that were so young and they went through so much and, and they try, I'm sure, as best they can, MTV, to show you what went on in their lives the best they could, I'm sure there were certain things they couldn't show us because it was, too private or whatever,
Well, I mean, I shared this story with you. I'm going to share it with everybody right now.
Go ahead.
I had, I'm not a squeaky clean guy.
No, nobody is.
Not by any means. My friends weren't squeaky clean people. With the exception of the ones in the military and everything, but that's because they have to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, okay, I know some people. I was hanging out with them, and they were tripping. They had some bad trips. I literally watched, at the same time, trying to get weapons out of their hands because back where I'm from, everybody carries some sort of weapon.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When I worked for Park City Valves and Fittings, in my jacket I had a baseball bat because you didn't know if somebody was going to try to rob you or whatever.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I actually had to use that one time. I was coming out, I grabbed my check, and there were like 4 dudes that came up, bum rushing up to me, and I turned around real fast, grabbed my bat out of my freaking jacket, and I said, "Let's go, motherfucker. Let's go right now."
Guarantee they didn't come up to you after that.
No, they didn't want to. They're like, "This is a crazy white boy."
Yeah, exactly.
They used to call me a crazy cracker. Now, I'm not the most craziest white dude out there. My buddy Tim would say I'm a fucking pussy.
That's because he's crazy.
but he's just beyond insane. So
he is, but he's just, for the people that know him and are close to him, he's just the coolest dude, though. Well, I have the most respect for him.
Well, it's like I've never backed down from a fight except for one, and I'll explain why.
But wait, you were talking about your friends tripping.
Okay, all right. I'll get to that other story in a minute. I got sidetracked. So anyway, my friends are having a fucking bad trip. And I thought I was in a fucking movie, except for this was real fucking life. They literally thought each other were fucking fruit, and they were fucking taking knives and stabbing each other.
Holy shit.
Now here I am trying to grab the fucking knife and trying not to get stabbed myself.
Wow.
Okay, and I mean, these knives were not easy because these were just little fucking switchblades.
Yeah.
Right? And then they started fucking cutting themselves like they were fucking fruit. And, I got, a hold of somebody and I'm like, hey, somebody call a fucking ambulance.
Yeah.
The good news is they both survived. However, they were both cut pretty bad.
Wow.
But, I mean, you just never know in real life. In real life is so fucking crazy that, you never know what the fuck's going to happen.
Well, that's scary. I mean, I hope these guys eventually got off whatever the hell they were doing and don't do it anymore.
Well, I haven't talked to them in years, so I really would not know.
No, but I'm putting the hope out for them, you know.
But, I mean, I've just never, you know, until that point, I never seen shit like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen fucking, you know, some crazy shit in my life.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
I seen somebody stabbed basically right in front of me. I didn't know the fucking people, and I really didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was not going to call the cops because at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm just worried about my fucking life right now. Which may sound wrong to some fucking people out there, which they may be like, okay, yeah, you're supposed to save everybody. But when you're in the heat of the moment, you're not always thinking about fucking saving everybody. You're trying to save your fucking own ass.
I don't think so, because I think people understand that, you know what, you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, I don't want to get stabbed. What the hell am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on your head down and you're walking trying to...
No, I'm on a payphone.
Yeah.
And I see this out of the corner of my eye, and I know they seen me see it. Right? This fucking dude, you know, stabs this other fucking dude, and he's lying in a fucking pool of blood and shit. And this is like late at night. This is like at 11:30 at fucking night and shit.
Holy shit.
And I'm on a fucking payphone. It's like, you didn't see anything. If you seen anything, I'm going to kill you. I said, all I know is I'm trying to make a fucking phone call.
Yeah.
And I'm not worth killing because I'm a broke motherfucker. I have nothing, you know, to do with this. Now, thank God that, you know, he took my word for it. I mean, I never said anything. But I didn't know the situation, and I'm sure they were fucking, you know, somebody, you know, owed somebody else for drugs or, you know, owed them money or whatever, and that's how it works.
For gambling or for whatever. Yeah, those guys don't play when it comes to even with gambling. I learned my lesson with that because back when I was younger, I decided, oh, well, I'm gonna put some money on this football team. I don't remember what football team it was. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to put money down on this football team, and I'm going to watch the game. And, of course, I lost. And I lost for a lot of money. Now, thankfully, my friend's brother, God rest his soul, he passed away, had said to me, he said, well, why don't you, I think it was the 49ers he told me to bet on. Well, bet on the 49ers or whatever it was. And, you know, and see what happens. Maybe you can make the money back and you won't owe them anything. Luckily, they won, and I didn't owe them anything. But that was a scary situation.
Okay, now going back to the one time I backed out of a fight that I remember. Ahead. I'm not sure if I ever did else other than that. I mean, I've stopped fightings from happening.
Yeah.
But that's for another story. I've got a ton of them. Because my friends were just dumbasses and we were going to get our fucking ourselves killed, and I'm not going to...
Yeah.
Those odds are not in our favor. But I'm not going to mention the dude's name because there's just no reason to mention it.
No, it doesn't need to be mentioned.
But I had a friend. He was... what you would consider, I'm not going to say a skinhead, but he did listen to, you know, the death metal and shit like that. He was really fucking psychotic. Okay, you've never met him.
Oh, okay.
Now, he thought something happened with me and I was talking shit about him. I was not.
Right.
It was all a misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you know what? Meet me on the bus, you know, after school, and I want to talk to you, and we really need to talk. Okay, now in Connecticut, there's no such thing as talking.
No, it's I'll kill you late now, and I'll talk to you later.
Exactly.
If you're still alive. That's the way they are.
Exactly. We'll talk later.
Yep.
You know, and a fair one's 15-on-1. Unless the rules have changed, that was what the fucking fair one was. Whenever somebody said there was a fair one, you knew somebody was getting involved. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But, okay, the reason that scared the shit out of me is that his best friend, right, was joking with him one day.
Yeah.
And I heard this from his cousin.
Okay.
So I know this isn't bullshit. Okay, he said that his cousin spazzed out because his best friend, joking around, said, "Man, I'm gonna kill you."
Right.
Joking around.
Yeah.
He goes into the house, comes back out, and starts beating his best friend with a fucking hammer.
Holy shit.
Just because he said, "Hey, man, I'm going to kill you." Now, is that somebody you really want to fuck with? I didn't at the time. I'm like, no.
Exactly.
If you're going to do that to your best friend who was joking around, that's not the... No. My ass left fucking school and took a different bus. I did take a bus, but I took the city bus. I was not jumping on the regular bus.
I don't blame you.
And you bet your ass when I said I booked out of school, I was fucking doing track speed out of that fucking school. The fastest person in that school was not catching me.
Wow.
Now, granted, that was before I started smoking and shit, and I couldn't run half as fast as I could when I was younger.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
But at that time, I had to do what I had to do. And people like that, there's no reasoning with them. And even though he would have apologized later after the fact, it's like, okay, what have I been alive for him to apologize, you know?
Exactly.
So if you know somebody who would beat their own best friend with a hammer or any other crazy fucking things, get a hold of us. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna throw a different email out there, and let's see if we get more replies than what we normally do.
Okay.
I'm going to say get a hold of us at 2localradio@gmail.com.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't much of a fighter when it came to fighting in school. I fought in 6th grade with this one girl, and it was something silly, and we were pulling each other's hair and fighting and beating each other up. And do you know I saw her after we graduated high school? And she lives in New York, and she's doing very well for herself, which I'm very happy. And the whole thing was a stupid misunderstanding. And, we both sat there, and we looked at each other. We're both like, hey, I'm sorry. That was so stupid. But other than that, I never really got in any fights, except for, like I said, and the time I stuck up for my friend when somebody was going to, threaten to beat up somebody that didn't deserve to be beat up. But other than that, no, I really was never a fighter. I'm more like... Sean Green, I'm not a big fighter. I'm not going to go up to someone and just beat them up for no reason. If I'm going to beat somebody up or fight with somebody, I'm going to have a good reason. Yeah,
somebody like Sean Green would just shoot the motherfucker.
That's true.
I'm not saying he would, but somebody like him definitely would.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. I'm sure they get the gist of what you mean.
Some people don't want to talk. Here's what used to piss me off. When I was younger, you knew who actually knew people and who didn't.
Yeah.
Because the people that didn't know anybody would always run their mouth about knowing people.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know this gang member. I know this biker. I know this guy, and I know this police officer, and I know this. And you're sitting there looking at him going, man, you don't know that person. Because
the true criminals that I knew and the people that were in the, gangs I knew. And
you don't tell nobody.
They're not going to bother over petty shit.
Not only that, but you know what? If you say, oh, I know this, I know blah, blah, blah. Let's say the Black Heart Gang. That's made up, obviously.
We hope it's made up.
I hope so. If it's not, I apologize. I was trying to make it up.
Just say like the Dissectomy Gang or something.
Yeah, there you go, the Dissectomy Gang. And, and you're thinking to yourself, now, you don't know them. Because you're not going to sit there and talk about them, because if you talk about somebody and say, oh, well, I know so-and-so, and so-and-so is going to come after you and kick your ass. Because you don't go around saying, I know this person and that person, whether it be somebody in a gang, in a biker group, or just, in general. You don't do that.
I did that one time. I learned my lesson right away. I did that one time.
Oh, I bet.
And I did know people.
Yeah.
But the people I was telling, one person that I knew, were the rivals.
Oh, shit.
So the dude grabbed me by my fucking neck and was literally fucking, choking the shit out of me. And shit. And it wasn't nothing I was going to do. A bunch of his boys were there. There was nothing I was going to do. But he was just giving me a warning message. He could have easily killed me.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Well, he didn't. I mean, thank God that he didn't. But there was not anybody that's going to stop. I laugh at people because people automatically think because they're in a club or because they're, that they're safe. That's not the case.
No.
You don't know who knows what bar owner, why, how, and what for.
Yeah, you could walk into a bar and be like, yeah, I'm part of this group and that group and I'm just so tough. And you could walk in the bar and boom, the bar owner or somebody in the bar shoots you.
Yeah. Walk into Sonny's or Whitey's and don't know anybody.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying the old-fashioned.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not saying now. I don't know how they are now.
Yeah.
But, there's some bars out there that will shut the fucking doors. And they'll take care of business and everything.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, those aren't bars you really want to walk into and not know anybody.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, but in life, you just never fucking know. You just never know. Because I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you the whole, background, of a story here. As you know, which a lot of people don't know, I once dated, this girl.
Yeah.
Who taught me how to drive, which people think I'm a crazy driver.
She did a good job teaching them too.
But I can stop on a dime. I can weave
can.
through traffic like nothing and everything else.
He can avoid a situation real quick and real easy. I mean, I've seen him avoid almost having an accident because he knew how to drive and maneuver. So I have to give you credit.
And I've also got pulled over for avoiding an accident before. So,
yeah,
I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah, but I mean, once the cops know, hey, I'm doing it to avoid an accident.
No, he didn't give a shit. He still gave me a fucking ticket. He said you were speeding. That was it. He was just a dick.
It happens.
So, but
anyways.
Okay. I was dating this girl, and she had this little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in her life for a while. I gave her a bunch of things. I gave her a Braves hat, which even after everything went through, I still seen her wearing that Braves hat like she hung on to it.
Aww.
But here's the deal. You think because you're, in a relationship or you think you really know somebody, and sometimes you just don't.
Very true.
Sometimes what you think is real and you think, it's going to last forever, it's just not going to.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But the story of it all was I dated this girl for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And every week we would go to the fucking karaoke bar.
Right. Go ahead.
And, we went there every week and everything. And then one time I was supposed to meet her up at the karaoke bar. This is after, knowing each other for years and dating for years.
Right.
Okay. Not in the sense of living together, dating each other for years. That's a totally different animal.
Oh, yeah.
But, when you still see somebody, all the time and everything, that one time, she wasn't there.
That's weird.
She didn't show up. I also found it weird. Not only did she not show up, the DJ that was there the last 3 weeks was not there either. You know where I'm going with this.
Yep.
So, so it was somebody else. I was there, sitting there, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then all of a sudden, I get a call saying, okay, I'm sick. I'm not coming in tonight. I said, well, honey, you want me to go there?
Yeah.
You're not feeling well. I'll go there. I don't have a problem with it. No, I'm all right. Everything's fine. I just, I'm not feeling well today.
I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Yeah,
probably.
I'm going to sleep. Yeah, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go home, and actually, no, I didn't even go home. I was actually in the karaoke bar, and there actually was a guy there, and he said, "Well, the girl that you're here with every week?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, she's kind of got a thing for the DJ."
Well, at least the guy told you. That's good.
I think she's got a thing because he's a military dude.
Yeah.
He's a Marine, everything, and he just was a Marine, and got out, and I respect the service and everything.
Oh yeah.
However, I was going by the karaoke thing. I believe it was the next day. Next night.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was 2 days later because they had it on Thursday and they had it on Saturday.
Okay.
And I never go to karaoke on Saturdays.
Right.
Because I was always, busy with my other friends doing something. I don't know if we had a bowling tournament or whatever the fuck we were doing.
Right.
Or getting all fucked up or whatever. But anyway. So I look into there, and she is literally all up on dude. So my temper.
Oh, yeah.
My ass goes booking in there. The dude, even though he is military, runs the fuck away. He didn't even want to deal with me. And he probably didn't want to deal with me because he was there 2 weeks earlier when somebody, had a problem with me and threatened me with the knife, and I hit him with the chair.
Yeah, my honey's crazy.
And the knife went out of their hands and everything.
Right.
But anyway. But I mean, he was military, so I figured that. What's that going to scare the dude?
Yeah.
But I guess it's just a look. From what I've heard when I get really pissed and I lose it.
Oh my God!
It's
Yeah,
just I got this mean fucking look,
really
and I'm just fucking
scary, mean look on his face, like you would not want to.
Yeah, like I'm possessed and
shit.
But anyway, so here I am. I'm running after dude, and then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I go back in there, and she's fucking acting like there's nothing fucking wrong, hanging out with her friends.
Yeah.
Right? And she's hanging out with her friends, having a good fucking time. Mm-hmm. And I go up to her, and I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Why did you break my heart? What the fuck's going on, right?
Yeah.
And she's just laughing about it. Literally laughing. And if she was a guy, I would have knocked her the fuck out. But I was brought up, you don't hit women.
She's lucky I'm not one of your, I wasn't one of your girls that was just a friend of yours. Because I would have went up to the bitch and I would have took the mic and I would have beat her with it.
But
senseless.
but that's not the the point. The point in hand is when you are crying. I mean, guys don't. They say guys don't cry. It's full of shit, though.
Of course they do if they get their heart broken.
In the heat of the moment, guys do fucking shed a tear. And I'm not talking about full out fucking bawling, crying like somebody died. I'm talking about, have tears in the eye, like see a fucking, a really touching movie and fucking, that's what I'm talking about.
I know
crying.
what you're talking about.
But, I mean, she's with her friends and, they're all, talking, and everything. And I was literally fucking heartbroken. So I played this song because I'm an asshole. I forgot the name of it.
Right, go ahead.
But it was about some bitch that broke a guy's fucking heart.
Right.
And then I said, this is dedicated to you.
You whore.
I didn't call her a whore or anything.
Damn, she would have deserved it.
But anyway, so her friend makes a call to this dude. This dude comes in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm already pissed off.
Oh, boy.
Right? And this dude's from Brooklyn.
And
right?
that's supposed to scare you.
And he's like, well, you're not going to mess with them ladies because I'm from Brooklyn.
And I know my husband looked at him and said, I don't give a fuck where you're from. I don't give a fuck where your father's from or your mother's from or whoever's from. I don't give a shit. Because I know your mentality and I know how you think.
Well, no. I've told him the truth. I said, look. I said, I don't know who the fuck you think you are. Mm-hmm. But one thing you don't realize is I was born in Long Beach, California. Mm-hmm. For one. So I don't give a fuck if you're from Brooklyn. And I said, I've beaten the shit out of people from Connecticut, from California, from New York, from Jersey, from here, from there. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
And of course I told him I don't care who his fucking mother is, father is, cousin is.
I know, that's what I said, because I know you and I know how you think and I know what you say.
And I also said I'm not scared to die, motherfucker.
Right.
I've lived with bikers, which I did.
I know you did.
And I've hung out with drug dealers, which I did. Mm-hmm. And I was close friends with gang members, which I was. And which I am if I ever see them again.
Yeah.
And everything. But, he went to take a swing at me.
Yeah.
Right? Thought he was big, bad. I picked his fucking ass up and threw him in the fucking dumpster.
I believe it. Yeah, when you get mad, you could do some crazy shit.
And I said, that's your warning. You come back at me, motherfucker, you'll be in a body bag.
What did he do? Lay in the garbage can?
I don't know. I picked him up and threw him so fucking fast, he probably never dealt with that in New York.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's no disrespect to New York. Because I've got some friends.
This is just a crazy
friends
story.
from the city, and I've hung out in Deer Park and shit like that. And
oh, yeah. No, this
all
is
different parts.
This is just one of our crazy stories, We like to tell them, so, it's no disrespect to the...
But I always hated when somebody would say, well, I'm from here, so don't mess... It don't matter where the fuck you're from. There's fucking pussies everywhere. There's fucking tough guys everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, we had this girl where I used to live, and she said, oh, I do taekwondo... Not taekwondo. I do some kind of karate or something, and I'm big and bad. And I turned around and said, well, I'm not afraid of you. I said, come on, bring it. Of course, the bitch couldn't do it. But she was too much of a pussy, and she didn't have the balls to do it. Because she knew that I was mad, and when I got mad, I turned psycho. She could tell by the look in my eyes that she didn't want to fuck with me.
Well, I think the dude was a little spooked.
I'm sure.
And the reason I think he was spooked was because on the way to the fucking garbage dumpster in the back.
Yeah.
I had him in a fucking headlock so tight that he probably fucking felt like he was gonna die.
Oh, I bet. That was probably scary as hell to him.
So, and I'm not a tough guy by any means. Like I said, my buddy Tim would say I'm a fucking pussy. But that's compared to him. But then again, he, for fun, jumps off of fucking ledges upside down. Nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. He likes to hang off ledges. But yeah.
And just, crazy shit.
Exactly. You know what? It's a different story when it's just, as somebody's picking at you or saying something stupid, you're like, yeah, whatever, fuck you. And you don't want to fight. But when you're in the heat of the moment and you're really, really pissed, it's another thing because you black out and you almost kind of forget where you are, and that's not good.
Well, no, I literally smell blood and love the taste of it.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Yeah.
When I black out, I just don't. I just don't give a shit. But I don't do it in front of everybody, and I don't act like I'm a tough guy in front of everybody.
No, I mean, I've seen.
I just don't. That's just not the way I go about it.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen his mean side, but I've also seen his super sweet side. But that's because he's my honey, so of course I've seen it.
But I mean, it just cracks me up how somebody's like, "Well, I'm from here,"
and I'm from there. Oh yeah, well.
I mean, if it was, somewhere, legitimate, like saying, I'm with this people, and you've seen me, then you might worry a little bit.
Yeah.
But
when your adrenaline gets going, you don't care. You're still like, fuck you, I don't care where you're from, because your adrenaline's going.
Well, I knew there's a possibility I could have ended up dead, but I didn't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
I just did not give a shit.
Exactly.
I mean, so... another thing that used to piss me off, and this is going to be the last story of the night because we're running over an hour.
Yeah.
I think anyway. Who the fuck knows? It's me. As of next week, we will have our shows, unless our boss says we can do more than that.
Exactly.
We're going to stick to an hour. But because we're not there yet, I'm going to run, we're running over. You know what used to really grind my gears or really piss me off?
What, honey?
When these motherfuckers from Connecticut would claim they're from fucking New York. You're not from New York.
You're from CT.
Good
try.
Don't act like you from, don't dress like them, don't fucking follow them. And here I was a minute ago, talking about the dude from, I'm just, real.
Yeah.
I'm a straight shooter.
Exactly.
People in New York know you're not from there.
Right.
They know that you don't walk like them, you don't talk like them, you don't act like them, you're not from New York. Don't act like you're from New York. To me, you're just a poser.
And plus, not only that, but you're disrespecting them. That's like us coming down south and trying to act like the people down south. We don't do that. We act like our normal selves. If we walk into a store or someplace, it's always, hi, how are you doing? We act normal. We don't try to act like them and pretend to be them because that is insulting to them,
Well, that's why my friends out here would say you're you're a cool Yankee because you're the only one I know that refuses to buy a Rebel hat. And I refuse to buy a Rebel hat because I'm not originally from down south. That's nothing against the Rebel flag.
No, it's in other words, that's their thing and you don't want to wear it because you feel that would be disrespecting them.
Yeah, it definitely would be disrespecting. That's disrespecting not only them, that's disrespecting their heritage.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just because you moved somewhere don't mean you're there.
Right.
If somebody's from Connecticut and moves to New York, that don't mean you're a New Yorker.
Exactly. You're a transplant.
And if you're from New York and you move to California, you're not from California.
No, you're a transplant still.
Technically, I can always say I'm from California because I was literally, as I stated before, born in California.
Yeah, that's different when you were born there. I was born in CT. That's where I'm from.
Now, people can call me a Yankee all damn day and say, well, you're CT and everything. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not really CT. I'm really, Californian because I was born in Long Beach, California.
That's right.
But I did grow up in Connecticut, and I did spend most of my adult life in, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like a crossbreed.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I cannot stand when somebody is not proud of where they're from. And I'm not necessarily saying, okay, if you're in the hood, be proud of, you're in the hood, that your people are dying all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, and those that are proud of where they're from, I'm not, no disrespect, just because you're in the projects.
If you're from New Haven, be proud you're from New Haven. Who cares? That's where you're from. That's where you're from. If you're from Bridgeport, be proud you're from Bridgeport. That's where you were born. That's where you lived all your life. Why not be proud of it? Of course. Same thing with Hartford and all the rest of the,
Yeah, exactly. But the whole thing about it is those who move somewhere else or walk into somebody else's territory and claim that that's bullshit in my eyes. That's forgetting about your roots. That's like saying, okay, where you came from does not matter. It does not matter, where you grew up with and the people that you knew. You just disrespected all the people that are from there because you're now saying, okay, well, you're this.
Exactly.
And it's just like us being, down south and, saying that, okay, well, we're Southern. We're not.
Exactly. We don't claim to be. We tell people who we are, where we're from, and stuff like that.
However, we're not going to go into a big old redneck bar and be like, okay, well, I'm better than you, and I'm smarter. Because for one, that's stupid. And
that's real stupid.
And for two, it would make no sense.
No.
It would really look at us like dumbass. Yeah, you're calling us stupid, but you're acting like a fucking child.
Exactly. I mean, we would never do that anyways. If we were to walk into any bar of any kind, we would be like, hey, how you doing, guys? No big deal. And walk past them. Nobody's going to bother you because you're not bothering nobody. Or walk in and mind our own business and just sit down and drink our beer or whatever, and that's it.
I've literally been crazy enough to walk into redneck bars, and it didn't faze me. I've been crazy enough to walk into all-black clubs.
I walked into an all-black club, and
it did not faze me.
No, I went out with a friend, and we went into an all-black club, and the guy literally stopped us at the door. He was a bouncer, and he said, "This isn't your type of club." And then we said, "Hey, look, we're just going in to have a drink. We're not coming in to start no trouble. Nothing." Me
and my buddy Tony at one time were the only two people that would walk into an all-Spanish club. Don't know a lick of Spanish.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody who's Spanish, but we don't know a lick of Spanish. And literally would have just as much fun. And they didn't know, and a lot of them didn't know English.
Right.
But we knew enough of the international language of stay the fuck out of somebody's way.
Yeah.
And not be, googly-eyed over somebody's girl.
Exactly.
Things that would get you killed. But that's how you learn. But that's where you learn street smarts from.
Exactly. Well, if you walk into whether it be a redneck bar, an all-black bar, an all-Spanish bar, it doesn't matter. They're not going to bother you. If I was to walk into a redneck bar, sit down, and be drinking a beer, and not say a word to anybody, nobody's going to bother me. Or if I walked into a black club and did the same thing, or a Spanish club, they're not going to bother me. Because I'm not saying anything to anybody. I'm minding my own business, doing what I have to do, and I'm leaving.
But it's not only it's not necessarily they're not going to bother you, because there are some punks out there.
Oh, yeah. You're always going to find a punk in every bar.
I walked into, Cotton Eye Joe's one night, and I was, hanging out with my friends, drinking and shit. And this big old dude, he was like 6'5", 350 pound, fucking spanders or what the suspenders on him, and just down-hole Southern. Kept on accusing me of talking to his woman, and I wasn't even looking at his woman's direction. And, instead of, running my mouth, which normal people would be, I'm like, look, man, I realize that you know that I'm not from here. But I really don't want anything to do with your lady, and it's not because she's not a, good-looking woman. I'm sure she is a good-looking woman, but I have not seen her. But that's your woman. That's who you came with, and... Instead of worrying about, me, why don't you go over there and, take care of your lady?
Exactly.
And he respected that. And he's like, he didn't tell me he respected that, but he's like, oh, I hear my woman calling me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he realized that he was in the wrong, and, it was just basically a misunderstanding.
Exactly. Just because you're in the wrong neck of the woods don't mean to do something stupid. There's a time to do things stupid, and there's a time not to. And it doesn't matter how nuts you are. There's just some places you just don't do.
Yeah, something like that.
Because
I wouldn't,
stupid.
you know, if that was me and it was the lady saying I was looking at her guy, basically that's how I would handle it too. I would have been like, look, I didn't see your guy. I don't know what he looks like. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Why don't you go over and sit with him? You know, I'm not interested.
But you know what I did when I went into southern bars, redneck bars, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Southerners are rednecks. I'm just saying some people are, got a different slang than other people do.
Right.
And some people you can't understand, but they can't understand me. So, I mean, it is what it is.
They've got their own way of being. They got their own language.
But when they would fight each other, you know what I would do? Mind my own fucking business and drink my fucking beer.
Yep.
Because not every fight, you need to fight. Exactly. Not every fight you're going to win. Not every fight you're not going to walk in somebody else's backyard and think you're fucking king shit.
Exactly. I mean, like, I was out one day and I saw a woman actually slap her child, and I turned my head and looked the other direction. I didn't see nothing because it wasn't my business.
Well,
that was a while ago.
What I was saying is, if you're in a bar with 300 dudes, that are, and you run your mouth, you're gonna end up fucking dead. Just like,
well, even though I wasn't in a bar, I still wasn't gonna run my mouth. So I just turned my head, act like I didn't see nothing. Actually, just turned my whole body out of the way and act like I didn't see nothing.
Now, if somebody knocked over my beer, I would have. Done something.
Then you would have said something.
But because they didn't, and they got pretty close, I just moved my fucking beer out of the way.
Yep.
And I was just watching, enjoying the fight, I guess. But the moral of that story is, there is no fucking moral. It's a crazy fucking night. Screw the dark side. Let's all just moon.
There you go.
If there was a moral, it'd be like, know when to fight, know when not to fight.
Yep.
And just pick your battles wisely.
Exactly.
Because, like I tell my friends that never fucking end, and they don't get it. Like one of my friends, you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna win every fight. You're wasting your fucking time, and there's no reason to get involved in every fight because you can't fight everybody else's battles.
Exactly.
Especially when you can't clean up your own backyard. See you. Wouldn't want to be you.
God bless.
Peace. Join us tomorrow at 11 p.m. I'm sure we'll have more original content and everything when I'm not so fucking tired.